May 2023 sales meeting. We have some exciting news to update you guys on, especially as it concerns the real estate market. It's the first month that our numbers are actually better. Well, April is the first month that our numbers were better than last year. As many of you guys have heard or seen through reports, the real estate market is expected to have 30% less sales this year than previous years. And a lot of that is due just to so many consumers are locked in at their very low interest rates that there's really no incentive for sellers to sell a home right now. So with that said, we have some exciting stuff to report for the month of April. And with that, we'll say welcome to our May sales meeting. As always, I want to remind you guys that knowledge is not power, execution is power. So make sure that you have a pen, because we're going to share a bunch of things that you're going to want to write down today. Since you are taking the time to spend an entire hour with us, we want you to walk away with lots of great information that you can utilize in your business. So with that, let's first say welcome to all of our new and returning real estate agents since our last meeting. We want to welcome Alicia, Rich, Adam, Alicia, Michelle, Annette, John, Venus, Mike, Caroline. Congratulations, Caroline, on getting your license. Blake, Kathleen, Tiffany, Michaela. So welcome to all of the agents that joined since last month's meeting. We're excited to have you as part of our LAER family. All right, let's take a look at our closings for the month of April. As I mentioned, I was very excited to see that the numbers were pretty close to last year. In general, the first part of the year, we have been trending for January, February, and March, right at where the market says we're supposed to be trending, which is 30% less business. So for the first quarter of this year, we did 30% less transactions than the previous first quarter last year. So let's take a look at our numbers for April 2023. We ended up closing 222 sales. So that's residential sales. And then we also did 33 rentals. That came out to a total volume of $111 million in sales. We'll take a look at how that compares to last year's numbers in just a second. That breaks down as follows. We did 160 units in Massachusetts, 51 units Florida. I always have to remind you guys, because it looks like we don't do a lot of transactions in New Hampshire. However, this is based on agents who are affiliated with New Hampshire offices. So we actually do quite a bit of business in New Hampshire, but many of our Massachusetts agents are doing that business. So this is broken down by where the agent is located. So our Mass-based agents did 160 transactions. Our Florida-based agents did 51 transactions. And our New Hampshire-based agents did 11 transactions. It comes out to 87 million, 17 million, and $6 million. Let's take a look at our top agents for each of the areas where we do business. First of all, our top 5 teams by volume. For the month of April, we had Button and Company was number 1, O'Connell and Company 2, Page and Company number 3, the Sullivan Realty, Silver Key Homes number 4, and then Sullivan Realty Group number 5. Congratulations to our top 5 by volume for Massachusetts-based offices. We then have our Massachusetts top 5 individuals by volume. So Mass-based offices: Paul Brulette, Matt Winterly, Monica, Jessica, and Corey. Congratulations. We also want to congratulate our top 5 Mass-based offices by units sold. So these are teams. Top 5 teams by the number of units sold. Number 1, Silver Key Homes. 2, Button & Co. 3, O'Connell & Company. 4, Rose Homes. And 5, Vision Realty Group. And then our top 5 individual agents based on the number of units sold for Massachusetts-based offices is Paul Brulette, number 1, Jessica Donahue, 2, Matt Winterly, 3, Monica Rahman, 4, and Corey Gracie, number 5. Congratulations. Next, we want to recognize our top 5 for New Hampshire. This number is top 5 for both volume and units. We have Platinum Realty Group, Karen Pelletier, Marie White, Jessica Provencher, and the Fulford Group. So congratulations to our top 5 for New Hampshire. And then we want to take a look at our top 10 Florida agents by agents and teams by volume. This is for April. We have Giswaldo team, Matt McLaughlin, Harriet Offerman, James Lamongi, Star Smiley, Roberto Ferrer, Silvana, the Pedraza team, Darley, and Lindsay Scott. Congratulations. And then let's also extend a congratulations to our top 10 agents and teams in Florida by unit. So Roberto, Giswaldo team, Matt McLaughlin, Silvana, Pedraza team, Joe, Harriet, James, Darley, and Lindsay. So congratulations to all of our top agents and teams. As a reminder, you guys will get an email because we publish our total, all these lists, all the ones that you just saw. So if you are an agent or a team and you were just listed in one of those top 5 or top 10 lists, we create social media pieces for those, and we encourage you to share those on your social media. We also put together 2 company-wide overall lists, top 25 in the entire company by units and top 25 company-wide by volume. And Sergio sends out an email through Happy Agent to everybody, and you'll have links to those social media pieces. So if you're on a top 25 list or any of the lists that we just went through, you can download those and share those pieces on social media. But congratulations to all of our agents for kicking off a great spring market for the month of April. So here's some numbers, not quite an increase, but pretty close to what we did last year for April. So that's promising news for us. As I mentioned, we did 222 closings this month at 111 million. The trend for the first quarter of this year is exactly what has been reported across all of our markets, which is a 30% decline in business based on units closed. That is what we have experienced for January, February, and March. But April, we can see our numbers are really close to where we were this time last year. So that's very promising. That tells us that spring market has arrived and sellers are putting their properties on the market. So we'll keep you guys informed as to what's happening, but we're seeing lots of new inventory finally hit the market, and it is much needed inventory. In many of the markets, we're still seeing, especially in the New England market, we're definitely still seeing properties go above asking price. But what agents are reporting is that many open houses are slowing down. So, and I know that it's property by property, town by town, but I know many of our agents have been reporting like out towards Gardner, Athol area, that there's just not quite as many people showing up looking at real estate. So this is good news for buyers. As we see more inventory come on the market, hopefully buyers will have more selection and won't have to bid significantly over asking price in order to see to get a property under agreement. I already went through this the last 2 times we did our meeting. I'm going to go through it one more time because it's really important. What got you to your level of business last year is not going to get you to that same level of business this year. So that means that you're going to have to add some additional streams of income or additional streams of referral business in order to do the same amount of business as last year. I already said that overall, what is being predicted is a 30% downturn in business. Well, if you don't want to see a 30% downturn in your income, that means that you're going to have to make up for that somewhere. So we're going to talk about a bunch of different ways to do that today. But first, I just want to run through the top 10 ways to drum up new business right now. And again, we've covered this in the last couple of meetings. So number 1, expired listings. There are still expired listings out there. Go out and drum up some business and reach out to expired listings. If you're not sure what to say when calling an expired listing, download our Algorand manual. You can get that at laerrealty.com/Algorand. You can download the manual, and at the back of the book, we call them uncomfortable conversations, like uncomfortable calls. You have to get a little better at reaching out to those cold clients, those expired listings. And don't just go to the expired listings that expired like yesterday. Go back over the last 3 years and call through those expired listing reports and see if you can't find somebody that never relisted, never sold, and reach out, because there's a good chance that if they were overpriced a few years ago, maybe the market has caught up with what they're looking for in pricing. Number 2, for sale by owners. I still see them out there. When you're driving by, don't just drive by that for sale by owner. I just heard a cool quote. They said, opportunity is never lost. It just goes to somebody else. So don't let the opportunity of a for sale by owner sign go to somebody else. Stop and make the phone call. Small bank REO. Mentioned this several times. Oftentimes when the market is as high as it is right now, many agents say, oh, I'm going to start like going after the big bank REO business. That business is not the same as it was 15 years ago. 15 years ago, many of the big banks like the Wells Fargos, the Bank of Americas, they actually sold off all of their assets. So when you were negotiating a short sale, for example, oftentimes you were dealing directly with the bank. Many of these banks sell off all of their foreclosure inventory to asset management companies. So it's a very different ballgame. However, there's so many small banks and credit unions that have defaulted inventory. So look around your local marketplace. Who are the credit unions? Who are the small banks? And reach out and find out who's managing their defaulted assets and offer assistance. Stop by, bring some bagels to the bank manager with a package, some of your seller packages, and say, I'm interested in helping out. If there's anything I can do, if you ever need pricing on a property, I'd love to find out how I can help you with defaulted assets in the marketplace. Probate is another one. Probate is potentially still very lucrative business. How do you get probate business? There's a few different ways. Number 1, build relationships with estate planning attorneys. So as real estate agents, every real estate agent should have a relationship with an estate planning attorney, so that when they have somebody that needs assistance in selling a property, then you can reach out and assist. And also think outside the box. It's interesting. I just received a postcard in the mail. I live in Littleton, Massachusetts, and I just received a postcard in the mail that I think it's Badger Funeral Home down the street, they do estate planning seminars. And I was like, that's a great idea. Why there should be a real estate agent at that event. So think of different ways. Maybe you can partner with a local funeral home that's putting together their own seminar. Also, you can go after probate properties by calling the representative of the property. You can get lists of those for any marketplace. So any county in any state, you can get a list of all the properties being probated, along with the name and the phone number of the estate representative or the personal representative of the estate. And you can get all that on Fiverr. So it's a super low investment. You can buy lists for under $100. And they cull everything. They give you a spreadsheet with all of that information, and then you can reach out to offer assistance. 1031 exchanges. We've done several classes on 1031 exchanges. You can find the most recent one that we did it was about 3 months ago. It's on our YouTube station at youtube.com/LAER training. We did a 1031 exchange class with Lynn Bagby, an expert who's been doing exchanges for people for more than a decade. But the cool thing about 1031 exchanges is that you can create a customer out of nothing. That means find somebody that owns a property that they've owned for, say, 20 years or close to 20 years. That property is coming close to becoming a non-depreciable asset. So there's different ways that you can show a consumer how to transfer that to another property so that they're not having to pay the income taxes for a sale at this time. So check out the class on the 1031 exchange program. Sign up for all the referral-based lead services out there. Cannot stress this enough. We put all of this information for you inside our LAER program and services guide. If you go to our LAER program and services guide at laerrealty.com/success tools, you can download our most recent LAER agent services guide. And at the back of the book, it's somewhere around page 16, 17, I don't remember, but we have a list of all of the companies that provide leads to real estate agents in return for a referral fee. That means you don't have to pay any subscription costs. You just pay a referral fee for that business. Now, one of the excuses agents make for not signing up for these services is that all the lists are full. So sometimes when you reach out to the referral-based lead companies, they say, we have a waiting list, so we can't put you on right now, but sign up anyways, and you'll be on our waiting list. And then many agents turn back. They say, okay, the waiting list, they consider that a stop sign. I have heard personally from many real estate agents over the last couple of months who are now getting accepted onto these lists that they've been waiting on for a while. Why? Because real estate agents are leaving the industry. So as people get out of the industry, these lists are going to be opening up. So everybody should be on those referral-based lead platforms. If you want more business. The other excuse that I hear real estate agents make is that the referral fees are too expensive. The reason you're signing up for those lead services is because everybody you market to, that means people that you have in your database that are hearing from you consistently through your email marketing, etc. Everybody that you put into your database, it becomes part of the platform of people that you market to, so that a percentage of the platform becomes your raving fans, your unpaid sales force. So you're not necessarily looking at each person that comes through as a that they're going to potentially close. By the way, some of them will close. These people are looking, if you sign up, for example, for Op City, these people are looking at real estate on realtor.com. I think that's a warm lead. I would put them into my database and I would market to them and call them and text them regularly. And if they end up buying a house great. You do have to pay a referral fee, but more importantly, you're marketing to a human being, because we want that person to refer friends and family and their next door neighbors. You want to turn them in to a raving fan. So instead of looking at these lead sources as just a potential buyer or seller, look at each person that comes through as a potential raving fan. It is like your unpaid sales force. So yes, you want to sell them real estate, but in the meantime, let's train them on how to give you referrals. So sign up for referral fee-based lead platforms. If you want to sign up for subscription-based lead platforms, I definitely wouldn't sign up for subscription-based lead platforms if you haven't signed up for referral-based lead platforms. Subscription-based leads can get very expensive without having a closing. If you want to be put on our Op City list, just email happyagent@laerrealty.com and sign up for just say that you want to sign up to Op City and we'll add you today, so you could start getting some leads today. Google local services. So local service ads, there's like a little process that you have to go through for signing up to be a local services agent. And then they charge you a fee for every call that comes through, but it's fairly inexpensive. And I've heard of many agents getting closings, listings, in fact, just from having a Google local services ad. And then last, just Google real estate leads, because we give you in our LAER program and services guide a list of all the referral fee-based lead platforms, but these companies change all the time. Some of them go out of business, some of them get bought out by other companies, and new ones pop up. So Google real estate leads and sign up for all the different platforms that you can. Think about ways to market to referral partners. There will be an exodus of real estate agents in the next 18 months. This is an opportunity for you to reach out. If you hear of an agent retiring or getting out of the business, reach out to that agent, ask if they have a database, and say, would you be open to sharing your database with me? I'll take over the marketing, and anything that comes out of that business I'll pay a referral fee to you. There's going to be a lot of people exiting the business. Huge opportunity. Think outside the box as far as creating partnerships with companies, moving companies, clean out companies. There have been entire businesses built on partnerships with a clean out company. If somebody's calling a clean out company to clean out things, they're probably getting ready to sell the house. Title V companies, if you're in Massachusetts, assisted living facilities, divorce and estate attorneys, solar companies, commercial real estate firms. There are plenty of commercial real estate firms that don't do residential business. Go team up with those companies and say, I want to be your residential resource and you'll be my commercial resource. And then team up with charities. Great opportunities to team up with great charities in the marketplace so that you create referral programs. When we do real estate transactions, we cannot pay somebody other than a real estate agent for referrals, but we can give charitable donations on any of our closings. So think about how you could use that to go team up with a local charity so that they're promoting your business, and likewise you're giving money on your transactions to that local charity. Events. We're going to get into this in a few minutes because this is an untapped resource. There's so many opportunities out there for hosting events that I'm going to spend a little bit more time on this particular topic in a few moments. And then open houses, I've lumped this in with my events presentation, which I'm going to do in just a few minutes as well. All right, just some quick company updates. First, Craig couldn't be with us today because he's at the National Association of Realtors legislative meetings today. in Washington, along with many of our agents who are also in attendance. But he wanted to make sure, Sergio, do you know where this one is, the June 6th one? I think it's a Boston based. We'll send out something once we figure out where this one is. I think this is this green designation. I've heard Craig speaking about this at our most recent boot camp, and he said it's the lowest price they've ever had. I want to say it was like $175 to get your green designation. And I'm pretty sure this is a Massachusetts-based course. And that's June 6th and 7th. If you want to get your green designation, just shoot us an email at happyagent@laerrealty.com, and we'll make sure that you get the information to sign up for that. I want to just take you guys for 1 second over to our new LAER agent services page, because as always, we keep playing around with this and improving it even further. So what you're looking at is our new LAER agent services page. We keep trying to organize it even better to make it as simple as possible for you guys to find everything you need to run a successful real estate business. Couple things that we added. First of all, we changed the look of it a little. We're going to still make some additional tweaks in the coming weeks, but we tried to organize it right at the top. Of course, we have all of our new agents, so you can give a warm welcome to agents who have recently joined your office. But also we have right at the top resources for recently joined agents, marketing, branding, presentation. This is all of your marketing stuff. So your guides, presentations, brochures, your weekly social media assistant, special marketing requests, open house. This open house resources I'll come back to in 1 second, but we made a bunch of changes to this section. Commercial marketing resources, and then if you need to order signs, apparel, business cards, things like that, it's all under here. Then if you go down to business development, we have classes, meetings, coaching, all the stuff that you need there to find training and meetings and stuff like that. And then we also have a link here for our business plans and growth systems. We have our Algorwin system under that link, but we also have some other business planning materials in there. Agent toolbox. These are toolbox our agents. These are like tools that you regularly use in your business. So we have a section with tech tools. We added recently a whole section of sustainability tools. I'll come back to that in one moment. There's a library of all kinds of extra stuff, anything that are like forms or marketing pieces that we didn't really have a place to put it. We put it under this little library section. Of course, the section for getting paid. And then we have our office and agent directory. And then at the very bottom, we have like our blog, like news and stuff like that. So a couple things I want to go back to here. And then also we put at the top, just so you could find everything right at the top, we added a little, table of contents right at the top. So we're still playing with it, and we do listen to suggestions that you guys have if you have any suggestions for how we could make it more user friendly. A few things I wanted to show that we've added, because a lot of the change that we've done over the last 30 days has been just making it look nicer and organizing everything into different areas to make it easier for you to find stuff. But we've also added content. So the few places I want to show you, 3 places in particular where we have added a great deal of content. First, open house resources. If you click on open house resources, before under here, we just had, if you need open house coverage, if you're an agent that needs somebody to cover an open house for you, we've always had this link. You click on that, there's a form you fill out, and then it emails all the agents within whatever offices you select to get somebody to cover your open house. Same with if you're doing a broker open house, we want as much LAER support as possible. So if you're doing a broker open house, fill out the form, click that, fill out the form, and that will notify all the agents, LAER agents within your marketplace that you're doing a broker open house so that you get as much exposure as possible. But we added all this other stuff. So what we added was sign-in sheets, welcome signs for your open house, little interior signs. So if you want to leave little signs in the house, either to highlight something that people might miss, or like just like shut off the lights and lock the door types of signs. We have some feedback surveys. We created a little textable open house image so that you can go in and just update it. And as people leave your open house, you can just text them a little image. We did some of these cute little popcorn tags. Those are so if you want to have a cool little giveaway at your open house, you could just do microwave popcorn, which is very inexpensive, the little popcorn bags, and make a little tag that says, thanks for popping in. And then we did some cool activity sheets for kids. So that whole section is brand new. Whoops, we'll go back to home. That's our under the open house section, and it's under the marketing, branding, and presentations. Second thing I want to show you that changed is under the agent toolbox, we added sustainability tools. So we have lots of green agents, and we're going to be adding to this as well, but you can find the LAER sustainability report, the most recent version of our LAER sustainability report. We actually put in there for you a customizable version. Normally our LAER sustainability report comes out in just a PDF. This year we've created it in a Canvas, so you can go in and add your information and customize it so that you can include it in your presentations. We have additional guides on sustainability, some sustainable marketing resources, the green appraisal addendum, and then we're going to be filling down here with other cool resources that our sustainability team encourages us to use regularly. And right now we have the Pearl certification, which is a sustainable property marketing program. The last thing I want to make sure, we've talked about this a few times, is under the technology tools, we added 2 new buttons. They are the 2 AI tools. So this is artificial intelligence, but if you have a new listing, normally you're sitting, if you're a good agent, which I know you all are, you're spending a good hour writing a great description of your new listing. Well, now we can give you a great description of your new listing in like less than a minute. You just click on this, the listing description generator. The form asks you several questions about the property. You fill that out, you press send, and within a few minutes, the system will email you a well-written description of your new listing, which you can use in marketing and on your listing sheets. I do like to preface it by saying this is artificial intelligence. This is not a human coming up with it. So that means that your human eyeballs should be looking at it just to double check it to make sure it's accurate, that there's no like fair housing issues in there. So you still have to read it, but this takes most of the work out of your hands. Same with your bio. One of the things we talk about in the algorithm class is having a really good bio so that when somebody Googles you, which is, by the way, the first thing anybody does when they get introduced to a new human being in 2023, I mean, whether it's somebody that's dating your kid or somebody just referred a new real estate agent, the first thing humans do is Google that person. So when they Google your name, what comes up on the first page of search? And usually there's like 6 or 7 links that come up on the first page of search. One of them is our LAER bio of you. One of them is like your Facebook page. One of them is a realtor.com page. So realtor.com creates a bio page for every real estate agent. You should have a great bio in there. Anyways, we've taken all the work out of creating a great bio, or at least I should say Sergio took all the work out of it by creating this bio generator, agent bio generator. So those are the 3 new additions to the LAER agent services page. So those are the main updates for you guys on, I'm going to get back to our meeting. On our LAER agent services page, one question we still seem to be getting through our Happy Agent system, people email in, agents email in and say, I can't get onto the Jostle site. We haven't had Jostle in several months. We took everything from Jostle and moved it over to the LAER agent services page. So there is no Jostle. Also wanted to remind everybody, we did 1 class in Florida so far, 1 class in Massachusetts. We have some additional classes coming up in Massachusetts. Get out and take an Algorand class. It's going to help you get all of your systems in place to build an incredible business for 2023. If you absolutely can't get to one of the in-person training classes, go to youtube.com/LAER training and you can watch a 1-hour presentation of Algorand, which is an overview of the program. But if you show up at one of the classes, you'll get an Algorand booklet, a workbook to work off of, and it's 3 hours of in-depth training to build your system for success for 2023. As always, make sure that you're checking out our LAER Den newsletter. There's a link for it right in the very top left-hand side of the LAER Agent Services section, because every month our team takes a great deal of time putting together this newsletter, and you're going to find stuff that will not only change your business, like cool different technologies you can use and stuff like that, but also things that'll change your life. And as always, we have our social media that our team, as a reminder, if you guys are not receiving the social media for whatever reason, every Monday, you should be receiving a email and a text of the social media for you to be going in. You can either customize or you can share the images with no customization needed. Every week. There's no reason for you not to post something on social media each week that would identify the fact that you are a real estate agent. So next up, I want to just reshare my screen here for a quick presentation I put together for you guys on events. So we talk about this as part of the Algorand program. In fact, as part of the Algorand program, one of the things we say is that 4 times a year, you should be doing events for your business. I can't stress this enough. I talked to an agent the other day who was paying an obscene amount of money, like over $10,000 a month in Zillow for Zillow. And I said, imagine if you took that, even like a quarter of that, and invested it in client appreciation events. So instead of going out and buying, which are very expensive, cold leads, why not invest a quarter of that money into constantly saying thank you to the people who already know, like, and trust you? So think about that. On like a Zillow, you have to invest a great deal of time building trust. But with the people who already know you and like you and trust you, there's very little time having to build trust. And then they refer you, they become champions or raving fans of your business. And there is no trust building because they trust you. The people that get referred to you by raving fans, they already trust you because you establish trust with the person that they're sending to. So one of the things that we're going to talk about for a few minutes is how to become a world-class event planner for your business. So what kind of events should you be doing for your business? I would argue that your entire year should be all invested in event planning for your business. Because interestingly, like a very small amount of time is invested in actually selling real estate in general. So if you think about working with a buyer or a seller, especially a seller, like how much actual time is spent in listing and selling a property? How much actual time is spent showing a buyer property, writing an offer, and getting their home inspection in? I would argue it's 3 to 5 hours max per buyer and per listing. With buyers, that might be slightly higher because you might have to write many offers right now in this market to get one under agreement. But in general, it's about 3 to 5 hours work on actually doing the transaction. So if you think about what are you in the business of, you're really in the business of filling your pipeline. That is where a majority of your time is spent because a tiny amount of the time is actually doing the transaction. So what type of events should we be doing as real estate agents? I think number one, a business networking group that you host once a month. Number two, 4 client appreciation events a year. We build this into the Algorand system. I think twice a year, you should be doing vendor appreciation events. Also, I think that you should think about ways to turn every closing you have into an event. We'll talk about that in a second. Housewarming events 3 times a month. So I'm assuming here that you're doing around 3 transactions a month, which means you have 3 closings a month. So you could do 3 closing events a month, 3 housewarming events a month. And of course, every open house should be an event. So that's 1 to 4 times a weekend. So why are events so important? Well, first of all, the actual doing of a real estate transaction is probably only 3 to 5 hours per sale doing the transaction. And by the way, you can like chop that down to even less. Hire a transaction coordinator. Imagine that you get your transactions down even further because you have a transaction coordinator, which means you have more time to go do more events, to get more business. Because think about your business of filling your pipeline. Events are important because they create human connection. So one of the reasons why people fail in real estate is because they think they can continually fill their pipeline through tech connections. Everybody is out there competing for tech connections. Like, I will get to know people on social media, and I think you should do all of that, but less people are doing it in a human connection, getting belly to belly with people. The other reason to incorporate events into your business is because then all of your prospecting is about inviting people. So you become like, every time people call you or you call them, it's not asking for business, although you can constantly remind people you're in real estate, but really people look forward to your calls because you're inviting them to something cool. And then most importantly, you create champions, raving fans by creating memorable experiences for the people that you do business with. There's a great book called The Experience Economy. Some of you guys, if you have been with LAER for a while, we did have the author of this book, Joe Pine, come out and do he did a keynote for us, and it was the year that we did our big sales meeting at Gillette Stadium. But he wrote this phenomenal book called The Experience Economy. And it says an experience occurs when a company intentionally uses services as the stage to engage individual customers in a way that creates a memorable event. So think about your business as a stage. And what can you do to create this awesome experience for every human that you come into contact with? When you run a business that creates experiences, you set the bar for the client that you wish to attract. It means something to become one of your customers. So this is not about building a transactional business like I sold another one, I sold another one, I sold another one. It is about building experiences for people so that you become memorable by making sure that it means something when a customer decides to do business with you. So think about how you can help stand out. Whoops, I just skipped through the entire presentation. Hold on. Stop for a sec. I hit a wrong button, so it went right to the end. So think about what you can do to build phenomenal experiences for everybody within your pipeline. All right, we're back. Let's see. I know we only have a few minutes, but this will be worth it. This is going to change your business. At least it's going to have you look at your business in a different way. So when it comes to building experiences, you utilize checklists. You have to time block events. When you look at your calendar for the year, it should be like all events. Use technology to track guest lists, build and promote your vendor list. This is so important. Delegate as much as possible. And when you're thinking about delegating, it is delegating stuff to host your events, but also think about how you can delegate parts of a real estate transaction so you have more time to do events. And then always build your database. Everything you do should be about how do I add more people to my database so I can market more people so the events can get bigger. Vendor partners, build your vendor list and give it out as part of your buyer, seller, investor packages. Make a favorite vendor page on your website. Vendors include real estate, like your mortgage, title, stuff like that, community related vendors and home related vendors. So home related vendors are like landscapers, painters, stuff like that. Community related vendors are like the local pizza shop, stuff like that. Always ask for vendor participation and sponsorship. So the vendors are going to become part of the way that you present these awesome events. And every vendor that you have needs to go into your database. So they get invited to everything you do. They're going to help sponsor the events that you do. And you're going to have twice a year events just for your vendors to say thank you for sponsoring your events. So let's go into the specific types of events that you could be doing regularly in your business. Once a month, you should be doing a class of some type. A first-time buyer class, investor class, condo conversion, 1031 exchanges, selling, Airbnb, commercial buying, credit repair. Become an expert at presenting the events. By the way, for your part of the presentation at the event, we have it all done for you. Go under the LAER agent services, under the guides, presentations, brochures, everything is there. You could go host an event in 1 hour and have a phenomenal presentation with just the information we've already created for you. Always have mortgage, title, insurance, home inspectors. Think about who can help speak at your event. Use our guides that we've already created for you. Use Eventbrite to track registration and to market the event. Advertise all of your classes, and vendor partners should be marketing it too. Move it around, change it every month to different venues. And always remember, if one person shows up, it's a success. That does not mean give up and go back. I'm not doing another event. One person shows up to your event, it's a success. Let's talk about networking events. Another way to build your business, I say once a month, you should be hosting a networking event, and you are the network. You are the Chamber of Commerce. Don't go join a Chamber of Commerce, although those are great too, but you're really just a number. Become the Chamber of Commerce, become the event so that it's your event. Maybe you host a monthly event for investors, for local businesses. Maybe it's a mom's group, a women's group. It can be anything, but be purposeful and intentful. Host it once a month. Change your venues. Make sure your invitations go out. Look within your sphere, right within your sphere of customers that you have. You already have many business owners within your network. Host monthly meetings. Always have them sponsored. Have a Facebook group for all of your members so you guys can talk and give advice and refer business. So it's your own little private group where you get to be the platform. Have a different speaker each month, and the speaker just comes from the group. And use this networking to grow your vendor partner list. Next, client appreciation events. Simple. I'm not going to spend a lot of time because you can go to the Algorwin system. We've created the entire system within Algorwin. So go download Algorwin, and there's a whole checklist in there for creating phenomenal agent appreciation checklists. Vendor appreciation. These events work because you have vendors that will help finance your events and sponsor your events. So twice a year, you should be doing vendor appreciation events, a networking night, a breakfast, do a family appreciation event just for the vendors that support you. An office barbecue does not have to be expensive. How do you turn your closings into an event? So think about this, because this is what the experience economy is all about. This is like life-changing. We're changing people's lives by helping them buy or sell a house. Yet oftentimes it is like super not exciting on closing day. Like they're going and signing a contract and here's the keys, and it's like kind of depressing often for something that is so memorable and so huge. So think about how you can turn the closing day into a memory for them. Maybe it's a limo ride from the walkthrough to the closing table, bringing champagne to the closing, photographers and video, balloons, bring balloons, have a small party at the closing table and invite the partners who all had a part in the transaction. Have a key presentation. A presentation of the closing gift. Sarah Lyman does a great thing that she puts a big, huge bow on the front door of the property. So it's like a celebration, a sold ceremony, removing of the sign. Think about what you can do to make your closing day memorable. Another type of event is housewarming. Host your new beginnings party. Every closing you do with a buyer is an opportunity to host a small housewarming event. Maybe it's just lemonade and cookies. Nancy Rogers is famous for this. Nancy Rogers, a very successful real estate agent in our Chelmsford office, hosts lemonade and cookies, just a small housewarming, and invites all the neighbors, something very small. Or you could do wine and cheese, a pizza party, a barbecue. But tell the customer, I'm going to host a small event just so you can get to know your neighbors. And I'll be the one that reaches out. You don't even have to do anything. Invite the neighborhood. This is an awesome reason to door knock. Invite all the vendors that participated in the sale. Create invites for your clients to send out, the actual buyer, in case they want to bring family and friends. Keep it simple and inexpensive. Weekday late afternoons work. We don't want to do it on the weekends. Nobody wants to make this a big production because you're going to do open house events on the weekends. So just do like a late afternoon, 4 to 7 or something like that. And do it like 1 or 2 months after the sale, once they're all moved in. And then last type of event to think about how you create memorable experiences. Remember, every open house is an audition for clients. So it is so easy to stand out when it comes to open houses because 90%, if not more, of real estate agents do a plain old open house where they hand out a plain old listing sheet and maybe ask for somebody to sign in, but there's nothing memorable about it. So be memorable when it comes to your open houses, and we give you everything to do this. You can download everything as part of our Algorand checklist. So in our new listing checklist, there's a host an open house Algorand checklist. And then if you go to the very end, part 4 of the Algorand book, it's all about creating memorable open houses. So final thoughts. Number 1, you should be investing more in people who know, like, and trust you than in cold leads. 2, eliminate excuses. People don't do events because it's too expensive. It shouldn't cost you anything. If you have great vendors, which you do, it's not that much work. It's really not a lot of work. And it is your business. People say, well, that's not my business. I'm in real estate. Your business is filling your pipeline. And one of the best ways to build and fill that pipeline is through events. Those who create memories become unforgettable. If you want to create, when you create memories, you become memorable. And the easiest way to create a memory is to create an experience. And then if you need further inspiration for doing this, 2 great books to read. Many of you have seen, we had around 80 of you come out to the Michael Mayer event last year, and it was all on building great client appreciation events. His book, The 7 Levels of Communication, talks about how to build a great client appreciation event for real estate. And then the other book is The Experience Economy with Joe Pine. And that's it. I know we're over time. Before I go, first, I want to just say Nicole from Coast to Coast Closings is always with us. Any important updates you want to share with us, Nicole?
I don't have anything important updates to share. Just hello to everybody. Want to let everyone know that we are here. Cheryl's in the South Shore. We're in Tingsboro. Angela's in New Hampshire. If you guys need anything, I thought it was amazing this week. 2 agents. They're not new, but they both had new listings. We were their first call and email stating, hey, help us through this. Is that okay? And we I've been helping them from the beginning. So if there's anything you need, Stacy mentioned the classes, you know, any questions, small, large, whatever, we're here for you guys. We can come to classes, we can come to your events, whatever you need, just let us know, we're here.
All right. Thank you, Nicole.
You're welcome.
And as always, make sure you can check out everything on our events calendar at laerrealty.com/training. You can see all of our upcoming events. Lots of events coming up. Plus, I've been emailing out. If you're in Massachusetts, we still have, I think, 4 additional in-person Algorand classes coming up. You can always watch the reruns. If you miss a class, you can always go to youtube.com/LAER training or to LAER University to watch the reruns of that program. And with that, our next meeting will take us to June 14th. So I look forward to seeing everyone. Thanks. Have a great day.